Welcome everyone, and here is Angie sharing with us some safety tips for our community. Welcome, Angie.
Hi, I am Sergeant Angela Joyce. I am with the Kansas City, Kansas Police Department. I've been in law enforcement 32 years. I am working out of the community policing unit, and today I have been asked to discuss safety in our community and safety around our home. Get my shared screen here. So there's the title, and we'll move on. There we go. See if we can get it just to pull up that itself. No, it's not going to. I first started off by putting what the word safety actually means, because a lot of times everybody has their own opinions of what safety could mean, but safety means so many things. And so obviously it's to protect yourself. Some of the places that within our community that people need to be aware of some safety tips is particularly like parking lots. Everybody goes out into the public, everybody goes shopping. And some of the things you need to be aware of is like when you go into a parking lot, especially when it's nighttime, be aware of what's going on in your parking lot. Look for well lit. If it's really dark in an area and you aren't really sure what's in that area, avoid it. Find someplace else to park. Look for people just sitting in their vehicles and what are they doing? If they look like they're just sitting there playing on their phones or waiting for somebody, not someone so that would concern you, but if you see people watching people and looking like they're up to no good, then those are the people maybe you need to park away from them. Same thing with people that's just hanging out in parking lots. Always be aware of those. Don't park next to them where they can just jump right into your car. You might see people arguing in parking lots. Avoid being involved in those kinds of situations. Call the police, let them come and handle it. Before you get back into your car, glance in it, look around, make sure nobody's gotten into your vehicle. If it appears that your car has been tampered with, call police and have them come check it out. It's better to be safe than sorry. And also make sure you're locking your vehicles. Don't leave valuable stuff where people can see. Otherwise, they're just going to break your windows, going to cost you a lot of money there. And that item that they may have just stolen from you, like spare change, it may be $2, but it just costs you a window as well and other damage possibly to your car. Additionally, when you're going out into the public, have some sort of plan on how you're going to react. It's not being paranoid, but if you get into a stressful situation, high probability you're going to freeze if you have never thought through, oh, if this happens, what should I do? So like in this instance of being in a parking lot, if someone were to walk up to you, grab you, have a plan of what you would do. Don't just not think about this can never happen to me. And it may never happen to you, but if it happens to you, you don't want to just freeze because that's the worst thing you can do. Be able to respond, whether it's just screaming or kicking, or if you have your keys in your hands using it, protecting yourself from whatever is going to happen, and then get away from the person, but come up with some kind of plan. If someone comes to your door at your home and you can't see them, don't open the door. If it's someone you don't know, don't open the door. Be prepared to call 911 because once they get into your house now, that's where you're really into danger. So it's best to call police, let them come out and check and make sure it's nobody that's up to no good, than to take the risk of them coming into your house. One of the things I was asked to address was also like ponytails. Is that a problem for women? It can be. Different hairstyles can be a problem where if someone grabs a hold of a person's ponytail, they would be able to control your head. But that's the same thing as having a plan. If someone grabs a hold of your ponytail, don't just let them control your head. Because obviously if they're grabbing your ponytail, they're up to no good and they mean to harm you. So be prepared to fight, even though that pulling of the hair does hurt. So don't let them control you. So again, on having the plan, it's not being paranoid. You will freeze if you've never thought about what would I do in this situation? What would I do? It goes back to what they teach you. When a high stress comes about, you've got the choice of fight, flight, or freeze. And if you've never thought about any of this stuff, you most likely will freeze. So part of being safe within your community is thinking there's bad people out there. What would I do if I encounter them? Believing you will never encounter them puts you in a bad position because you never plan. And it's the same thing when you have children with you. Have a plan. If you get separated from your child, what are you going to do? Make sure your child knows what to do. I work other events like sporting and at NASCAR, and parents turn around and they turn right back around, their child's gone. And it's just because a child will roam off at something that looks cool. Have some kind of plan. How are you going to respond to it? This is where we meet if we get separated. Moving. So the safety in with children, if your children are very young and you're in public, take the time and put your information inside their jacket, whether you pin it to the inside of their jacket or you write it somewhere, put it in a piece of paper. It's especially important for young children because a lot of these young children cannot convey who mommy and daddy is. If you ask them who mommy and daddy is, they're confused. They don't know it's George or Jean or whatever it is. They just know mommy. And at the same time, they're not going to know mommy and daddy's phone numbers. And so we come across young children who can't even tell us where mommy is and how to reach them. And so that would be a very important thing to help anyone reunite you with your child is have their information someplace on their clothing, in a pocket, in a jacket. And again, to the older children, hey, meet me here if we get separated. This is the meeting point. Just designate a place like in a mall, fairs, meet me at the slide at the fairs or at the park, wherever you guys are going to. And then if you guys get separated, know that that's where they're going to also. So as we move off to other safety aspects, it's always important to discuss safety with driving as well. Speeds do kill. All of us are heavily guilty of the speeding. I mean, most of your highways are extreme highway speeds and we're all used to it. But now we are talking, most of our drivers are distracted drivers as well, whether it's talking on the phone or texting on the phone or fiddling with something in their car. More people pay less attention to their driving when they're driving than than they did before. At the same time, if you're overly tired, that is just as bad as being a distracted driver. So be aware that your field of vision and how you respond and what you're seeing is going to affect what happens as you're driving. Keep in mind when you see people broke down on the side of the road, there have been scams for people to take advantage of people and carjack them. So don't stop. Just call police stations and say, hey, can you please go and check on these people, and let officers respond out and check on those situations. 1.6 million accidents a year involve cell phones. And again, the distracted driving. 390,000 result in injuries. So 1 in 4 accidents involve some form of cell phones, whether it's texting or talking on them or trying to dial a number. Cell phones are a big issues involved with accidents that happen each year. Driving deaths each year, and these are statistics from 2020. Most of our statistical data reporting things are a year or two behind. And so for drunk driving, you're looking at about 11,654 that die each year from alcohol related, which is 32 people a day. Cell phones, distracted driving deaths each year is 30,000. So we all hear the stuff about, hey, don't drink and drive. But if you look at the numbers of DUIs, deaths, accidents versus distracted death accidents, it's almost 3 times higher, just cell phone usages. These are just some a diagram I'd found that show different aspects of what distracted driving type things. You've got the smoking, people lighting cigarettes, people eating and driving, adjusting the radio, talking to passengers, texting and talking on their cell. So those are just some of what they're talking about as far as distracted driving. It's not just the cell phone, it's many other aspects, such as these items. One of the big things that they were talking about at one point is that there's a lot of accidents associated just with people eating and driving. The age range for most of the fatalities and age groups, 23% are between the ages of 15 and 19 years old. Those are your most inexperienced drivers. And that's the highest ratio you have in the distracted category for the fatality deaths. Some tips for safety around your home. A lot of what we use in community policing is what's called CPTED, crime prevention through environmental design. It's looking at your home and how do you address issues that may create safety issues, such as poor lighting. If you have zero exterior lighting around your house, or lighting that actually blinds you when you're looking out versus potentially just lighting up an area so that you can see. Overgrown shrubs that give places for people to hide, or that creates kind of tripping hazards for you alone. Overgrown trees, shrubs that block your view from your window. If your shrubs are really high and you can't even look out your window, those type of things create hazards for around your home. Secure your home. A lot of times we all think that it's safe to leave like your second floor windows open while you're locking the lower floor, but there's an element out there that prefers to enter through the second floor because they know you're not locking those windows. If you're not securing your home and you're leaving, you've just made an easy access for someone trying to enter your home. Also keep stairs clear from possible tripping hazards like extension cords or piling up your stairs with objects that, oh, I'll take this upstairs later, and then now you've tripped over it because you didn't see it. Again, some of the personal safety type stuff, being aware of your surroundings, put the cell phone away and be aware where you're at and what's around you. The long hair for men and women, actually. I have long hair. It's not something I actually worry about, but I also think on if someone grabs my hair, I'm fighting. If someone grabs your purse, is there something in it worth fighting for, or is it all replaceable? Those are all personal decisions that people have to make. Me, for one, I don't carry a purse, but the bag I carry my ID on me in my pocket. I carry my credit cards in my pocket, so I don't put them in the bag. So here, take my bag. When you're going out with friends, communicate. If you guys are going to change locations, have a meeting place. If you guys know that there's potential, hey, I'm out dancing and someone else may go out get drinks. Where are we going to meet at? Have places that you guys know to get together to stay safety in numbers. And if there's any questions, I'm open for questions, but these are the non-emergency lines for the police and the emergency line for the police. Community policing, I didn't put up there. That one is 913-573-8720. And that's our general line that will get to all of the community policing officers. If there's questions within the community, or you have specific issues you'd like to discuss, that we may be of assistance to assist you.
Thank you, Angie. Since I'm the audience, I have some audience comments and questions. It was all over the news beginning of this year how they are the most fatal car accidents in decades in the United States, and they attributed it to this